Hey, welcome. It's Michael. Coming back to you again with the What's the Question series here. And if you may recall, the What's the Question series is I actually look at questions from, that's not my book, that's my friend Gary Boll's book, but it's a heck of a book. Back here, the heart of transformation, and some of the questions that we use to drive transformation and change, but looking at that in the context of what's going on in the world today. So as I record this one, we've just had a news report recently about the FBI in the United States going to the Florida home of the former president of the United States, Donald Trump, and basically doing a raid looking for evidence. So we don't have tons of information, but what it would appear is that the Justice Department and the FBI is actually stepping up, looking into, did he destroy things, remove things, take things away from the White House and White House records that are supposed to be a part of records? Did he break the law trying to hide or cover something up? So I thought about this and I thought, well, what's the question maybe he could have asked? And one of the questions I have in my section on path finding before path following is what's most important? And this question, as I explain it in the book, is very specific. It's what I call the values question. What's most important here? And I think that this is a really interesting situation, whatever side of belief or politics or allegations you're on. Obviously, there's some things that have been happening. There's some photographic evidence of potentially ripping up documents and literally flushing them down the toilet. And there was all sorts of discussion of documents that had been removed and brought to Mar-a-Lago, the home in Florida, which is not legal to remove them to the White House because the U.S. government is set up to have transparency to the presidency. We don't, anoint a king. We hire and elect a president, and they come and they go, but they're subject to the same laws as the people. So anyway, in the question, what's important here? If you're in that role, are you thinking, what is the most important thing? Is it to follow the law and preserve the records? Is it to not get caught if you do something wrong? Is it to hide yourself from what you think are illegitimate, forces on the other side of the political aisle that want to bring you down? Whatever it may be, I'd be really interested to know, what is the question that if you put it to Donald Trump, he'd say, what's most important here? And what it makes me think of is, on a lot of these questions, I'm not saying that there's a specific answer to them, that there's something that I push or subscribe. I'm saying they're the questions that help you discover who you are and what your culture is. But I'm going to go and weigh in with my values on the values question of what's most important. When I was a kid, I remember my parents saying to me that ethics are really pretty clear. You do the right thing, even if it costs you, even if nobody's looking. Because the thing about no one looking is somehow someone always is at some point. And so you need to do the right thing all the time. And I really don't care if you put yourself in a position of saying that, whatever the former president was trying to do was to things that he should have done legitimately, but was protecting himself from people finding out. I just don't buy that. If you can't be, really, if the will of the people is not aligned to what he wants, then he's doing the wrong thing, because the most important thing here is not to do what he wants, but the most important thing is to reflect the will of the majority of the people who elected him, not just the ones who he agrees with. So again, when you're faced with a question around ethics and around values and what's most important, while I think it's a great question just to debate, I will put out there, keep these things in mind. Do the right thing and figure out what that is, even if it costs you and even if nobody's looking. Thanks for watching.